Oh, Bonnie boy.
You never know. Might just do that. You never know. You never know. But yeah, don't, these trolls don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They never took real estate law.
And you failed out of one semester at a community college that does not teach real estate law. So how did you get this 2 years of real estate law when you only went to a community college that doesn't even teach real estate law?
And I assure you that the only thing an executor is allowed to do is to pay off mom's bills, make sure the bills are paid up until that point. See, like I said, an executor isn't even permanent. All an executor is a few months. That's it.
There you go, James, talking out of your ass. You don't even have a clue to what the executor of the will is responsible for and does. You just want it to be that, but that's not how reality works. Sorry about your luck. I am going to, in this video, explain the responsibilities of the executor of the will so that you and anybody else listening will know.
The executor's job is to make sure mom's final bills are taken care of, the property is in good working order, and then that's the end of it. Now, as far as a trust, even the trust can be contested, okay, which I intend to do.
You're wrong there. A trust cannot be contested. A trust is part of the will. The will can be contested if the trust is part of that will, but the trust itself cannot be contested.
They think, now somebody just emailed or messaged me saying, oh, well, they changed the will to a trust. Doesn't matter. I can still contest it, which I intend to do, okay? Nobody is allowed to kick me off this property. I am the blood heir of the estate. They do not have any legal right to change my locks, kick me off the property, or any shit like that, okay? You trolls do not understand the law.
Apparently, you're the one who doesn't understand the law. Yes, they can change the locks. Yes, they can kick you off the property. They have to do it by legal means, but yes, they can.
Do not. Yes, an executor makes sure all debts are resolved. That's right. Exactly right, S.A. And then once, and S.A., how do you say that? S.A., S.A.? Anyway, but yeah, you're correct. They make sure that the debts are all paid at my mother's passing. That's it.
The duties and responsibilities of the executor is to sort out the finances and to distribute the estate to the heirs or whoever is appointed in the will. Get a copy of the will and file it with the local probate court. The executor is in charge of locating, reading, and understanding the will. Usually, even if the probate isn't necessary, the will still must be filed with the probate court. As this step, the executor also determines who inherits the property. Number 2, notify banks, credit card companies, and government agencies of the decedent's death. The Social Security Administration, along with the descendants or descents, I just never seen that word before, bank and credit card companies, are just some examples of who should be notified of the death.
Make sure that the property's in good working order, they pay off the debts, and that's it. That's all they do. They don't change locks, they don't kick people off the property, they don't do any of that stupid shit. You trolls are morons. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
3, decide what kind of probate is necessary, because inheritance laws may facilitate the passing of certain properties without probate, such as being held necessary. Basically, if there isn't a will given to the property to certain people, the executor can decide who that goes to, or also the court can appoint an executor, but that's already been done.
Okay, they don't have the power to change locks. That's not in their purview. And like I said, if they try that shit, the executorship goes poof. It goes.
On what authority do you have to do that, Juan? Hey, you don't have that kind of authority. You're not a probate judge, dumbass. Number 4, represent the estate in court. An executor may be required to appear in court on behalf of the estate. So if Von Helton actually does get a lawyer and wants to, challenge the will, he will have to, the executor of the court will have to appear in court. But or the lawyer can represent the executor of the will, but That's never going to happen. Von Helton's never going to have money to put together, and even if he does, he's going to lose.
It's gone. Because all I got to do is call the courthouse, and bada boom, bada bing, the executorship is gone.
Dude, the courts all know about you. You've been in there so many freaking times. They know you on a first name basis, doofus. They already know what kind of an idiot you are. So there's not going to be no bada boom, bada bang. Call the courts. The courts have already decided against you, doofus. 5. Set up a bank account for incoming funds and pay outgoing bills, such as owed rent, incoming paychecks, anything like that, dividends or anything like that. And then have to look out, pay the mortgage or pay off the mortgage more than likely, utilities and similar bills. That's one of the responsibilities of the executor of the will.
And mind you, the trust, if I understand the trust is based on the executorship anyway, on the will. Okay, the trust is based on the will, if I understand correctly. And if that's the case, when I contest the will, I think the trust goes bye-bye too. But I'm not sure on that one. I have to double check.
This is where he's trying to steal from his children. He's rejoicing in the possibility, even though it's not real, that he can absolve the trust and get all the money for himself so his kids get nothing. That's what he's saying. That's in a nutshell. That's exactly what he's alluding to. No ifs, ands, or buts. Number 6, file an inventory of the estate's assets with the court. In many states, the courts require the executor to submit a detailed inventory of the assets in the probate estate.
But no, they don't have a right to change locks or any of that shit. You guys are talking crazy talk. The executor's job is to make sure Mom's final affairs are in order. That's it.
Sorry about your luck, Stinky, but actually they do. Sorry about your luck. Well, here's one that goes against a lot of stuff that old Stinky is saying. Number 7, maintain the property until it can be distributed or sold. This includes keeping up the house until it is distributed to the heirs or sold, even deciding whether the property needs to be sold at all. Also, the executor must be sure to find all personal property in the estate and protect it until distribution. If the deceased had a safety deposit box, the executor should locate it and keep it safe. Well, Stinky already stole that. But as you can see, the executor has his responsibility to keep the property safe. Putting locks on the door of the double wide is keeping that safe so that it doesn't get destroyed or trashed or whatever Stinky would do to it.
And that's only for a month or two, a couple months. I think Mom was executor of my daddy's stuff for 4 or 5 months at the most. That's it. And then she was done. And then, like I said, in 2007, she relinquished her executorship over my father's affairs, and that was the end of that. But Mom did not have the right to change locks or any of that stupid shit. You guys are talking crazy talk.
Number 8, pay the estate's debts and taxes. State law dictates the procedure for notifying creditors, and the estate must also file income tax returns from the first of the current year until the date of the deceased's death. If the estate is large enough, there may be state and or federal estate taxes to be paid.
They don't have that right. All they do is make sure the affairs are set in order. SCA is correct. An executor just makes sure all the debts are resolved. And that's pretty much all they do.
Well, the person you respond to is just telling you what you want to hear. But what you want to hear is not necessarily reality, and in your case, it is not reality. Oh, Von Helton's not going to like this one. Number 9, distribute assets. Distribution occurs according to the wishes expressed in the will. See, the will was written, 10 or more years ago, when your mom was of her own cognizance. I can't pronounce that word right, but she did not she was not diagnosed with dementia. So, and it was signed by your mother. The will was complete, and she expressed her wishes that everything go to your kids. Sorry about your luck there, Von Helton. Your name isn't Von Helton anyway, it's Helton. James Helton. Sorry about your luck, old Irv the Perv.
Changing locks are unlawful, but then again, since when do these clowns follow the law? These clowns deal in the legal world, never the lawful world. Well, that's true, but I don't think they want to lose their executorship. At least I hope not. I hope they aren't that damn stupid. Because like I said, they change locks or try to kick me off the property or any of that shit. I'm making a phone call to the courthouse. Boom, that quick. And they lose the executorship. The executorship will be destroyed, which means they lose all their power over me and over this property.
No, because they have every right to kick you out. They can sell a property. They can't sell a property with you living there. So at some point, they will have to kick you out whether they want to or not, because they're going to liquidate the property. Because the executor of the will doesn't want to have to deal with your happy ass anymore, and probably doesn't want to deal with maintaining that property for 10 more years till the kids are old enough to get it. So he's going to turn it into money for the kids. And sorry about your luck, you're not getting any of it. Now, this one probably doesn't apply in Alice's will or the executor's responsibilities, but it's dispose of other properties. If there are any properties left after paying off the estate's debts and distributing to the heirs, heirs don't mean blood heirs like Von Helton thinks. Heirs in this case, and in every single state in the United States, means those who were listed in the will. They are heirs. So there's no such thing as blood heirs anymore. The executor is responsible for disposing of it. So if there's any properties left after the money and everything has been distributed to the heirs, which are the 3 children that Von Helton brought into this earth, then he would have to dispose of it somehow, I guess. I don't know. He could keep it or whatever. It's very complicated. There's a long list of things that go along with this one. But I don't think it applies in this case, because I think all was probably used. Everything goes to the kids, so there is nothing left after everything goes to the kids.
Now, as far as the trust can be contested. And since the trust is a bunch of hooey anyway, like
The trust in and of itself cannot be contested. If it's part of the will can be contested, but not the trust. And it's a bunch of hooey. Give money to his kids so his kids can go to college or have a future. It's a bunch of hooey to Von Helton.
And so I went back later, and she was still out of it. And I said, well, I'll give her one more try. I went back later. She was still out of it. And I said, well, I'll give her one more try. I went back later. And so I went back later, and she was still out of it. And I said, well, I'll give her one more try. I went back later.